Hey guys, happy Thursday. I like to do chapel videos a little different in this online setting. I'm walking in my street night right now, hence the little bit of the shaking of the phone, and you're going to see all kinds of different things, and who knows if there's going to be runners going past me or dogs barking or that, but that's kind of the organic, weird setting we're in right now. And also it's a beautiful day, but I'm walking to the end of my street at the moment. I just want to give you a few updates of kind of things to look out for. You guys are so close. You have been so great, and you are so close to the end. You have a day or two of review, and then you have finals week of Monday through Wednesday, and you are done. And you've made it, which is amazing. But getting to this point, I have a couple of things to remind you of. First things first, for finals next week, Monday through Wednesday, please make sure you check the schedule online or the emails that your parents have received, looking at your final schedule and the times of your exact finals. This is really important because teachers are going to schedule exams for those times to open and close. So if you don't make it at that time, you will not be able to take your final, and it's critical that you do that so we can get you out of class and get you on your summer break. So make sure you attend finals on time. And number two, Mrs. Hodges has been working really hard in terms of student council voting, representatives, different positions, and that voting is online. It's in Google Classroom, and I need you to vote if you haven't already. So please go on Google Classroom and vote for the different positions, so we have a good representation of votes and we can elect the best people we can to those positions. With that being said, there are two really quick updates, and as I say, you have 3 or 4 days left. But I was walking to the end of my street to show you a street sign, and you're like, whoa, Kurt Stewart, that okay, like everybody's got street signs. Hey, there's a street sign right there. Whoa, move my head, there you go. There's a street sign, okay? Very normal in America, unbelievably normal, actually. But it reminded me of a band that my parents introduced me to called U2. And I would assume a lot of you are familiar with U2 and their songs. They have a load of different songs, different paces and tempos and rock and roll and all this kind of stuff. But they have a song, I think it was brought out in the late 80s, called Where the Streets Have No Name. Really cool video also, and I really, if you watch it, it'll make a lot of sense. But if you watch the video on YouTube of U2, Where the Streets Have No Name, it is a song, and I always thought, well, what does it mean? What does Where the Streets Have No Name mean? Is it just kind of one of those songs where it's just catchy and they really didn't think about the lyrics? But then I thought, well, you know, U2 has a lot of depth to a lot of their songs, so I was really interested about it. So I did a little bit of research on the song, and funnily enough, there's actually like 3 or 4 theories behind the lyrics of Where the Streets Have No Name. But I want to give you the verse, or one of the verses of the song, that says, I want to run, I want to hide, I want to tear down the walls that hold me inside. I want to reach out and touch the flame where the streets have no name. And again, that could be really catchy and just a normal song, or it could have a little bit of meaning to it. And when I looked at the meaning, according to Bono, the lead singer of U2, there's a few different ways they go, but one of the main themes that they talk about is dreaming of a world without division or without separation, a world where everybody is equal, there's no conversation about gender or race or anything like that, and it's just a world of no division. And Bono's just talking about where the streets have no name. I want to tear down the walls that hold me inside. That's one theory. Another theory is that when Bono went on a trip to Ethiopia with the band on a humanitarian trip, he recognized that none of the streets had signs, which could be a normal in Ethiopia. I'm not familiar with the culture. It's definitely not a norm here in America. Think about every time you throw in something into the GPS, you throw in a street or a location and you find that via different street names. Obviously not the case in Ethiopia, but when he recognized that, he just had this feeling of just, there was no signs, there was no separation, there was no, this rich person lives on this rich street and then this poor person lives on this poor street. It's all the same. Everybody just lives without separation. And then the third theory is Bono, and the U2 are an Irish band, and he was brought up in Dublin, which, especially when he was brought up, was a very separatist type society between Catholic and Protestants. And Catholics would actually live on certain streets and Protestants would live on other streets. So he's talking about why were Catholic and Protestants opposing each other, and you actually knew what streets they were on, and there was so much division in what they're doing. And his song just suggests, if we had a street with no name, then we wouldn't have this separation and division and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, well, okay, what does that have to do with anything in the Bible? What